Welcome all of you. Today we are on the verge of completing the class 6th Polity NCERT, and two chapters we are left with, which I intend to complete today in this lecture. And these two lectures are about and urban livelihoods. We have seen the rural livelihoods. Today we shall. So here we go, and just a minute, give me some time. Yes. So here we see the urban administration. Now, again, it starts with a beautiful story, like all the chapters of our class. I'll just sum up the story for all of you. There, that children are playing cricket, popular game of India. So, children are playing cricket, and one one of the player hits, breaks the. You can see here, ball is here. His street light is broken. So they all are all scared, and some of their auntie, one of the parents of the kids playing here, and they ask her that whom should we pay the fine because we have because we have broken the light. So she asked which light, the street light. They answered. So she starts laughing and tells them that it's a very big organization, the municipal corporation. So they were like that last week when we broke light of so and Spain, we had to spend our entire pocket money so that to compensate her. What happened was last week they hit, some of them hit a shot, and some aunties. Usually there are such aunties and uncles in every part of India. They don't allow you to play, right? I have had such cases when I used to play. So that woman drained her of their pocket money when her window was broken. So they were asking that when auntie charged us, why will not the owner of this street lamp charge us? So this is where the urban administration comes into play, a beautifully connected one. She tells that it is handled by municipal corporation. See, I'm highlighting it here. Municipal corporation. Here it is given. And they ask, what is this municipal corporation? Then she says, it is responsible for ensuring that disease do not break out in the city. It runs schools, hospitals, dispensaries, and makes gardens and maintains them. Okay, the Yasmin Khala. Khala is a Urdu word for Masi or auntie. So this is in Pune city, and in big cities. Pune is a big city. Hyderabad city, Delhi has MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi. BMC, Bombay Municipal Corporation. It has such a huge budget that even some of the small states' budget are less than BMC. Some of our states in Northeast, their state budget might be less than the Bombay Municipal Corporation's budget. So, big cities, here it is written, our city Pune is a big city, and so here it is what is called a municipal corporation. In small towns, it is called municipal council. So municipal council and municipal corporations are one and the same thing. The variation in nomenclature has got to do something with the size of the city in which they operate. Big cities, municipal corporation; small cities, municipal council. Now, who decide where a park should go? Did you have to make interesting decision because this Yasmin Khala was worked in municipal corporation? No, Rehana. I was working in the accounts office of the corporation. So I just worked on pay slips. That is the logistic part. Cities are usually quite large, and so the municipal corporation has to make a lot of decision, as well as do a lot of work to keep the city clean. So who makes this decision? Decisions like where a park or a new hospital should go are usually made by the ward councillors. Now remember our panchayat lessons. There we had Panch village was divided into several small units. Each small unit was, remember that example I gave you of a class having 10 stuff. So same thing happens here. City is divided into ward. Municipality is the urban counterpart. the urban counterpart of what is known as panchayat in villages. So just like we have sub-classification of villages where panchs are elected, here we have wards where councillors are elected. City is divided into different wards and ward councillors get elected. This is again grassroots democracy taking hold, okay, at the level of wards. Our water, sanitation, drainage, street lighting, parking, and where a park should be, like there is a large dumping ground. I don't know about Hyderabad. I have still not visited. Hopefully, I will there someday to meet all of you. But in Delhi, there was, I have seen this when I was in my college. There were many empty garbage dumping grounds, and it used to stink a lot. So finally, good sense prevailed over MCD, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, and they thought of developing these dumping ground into parks. So again, there were more than 100 such dumping grounds. Today, on a good number of such, I'm not sure about how many, but on a good number, parks have been made. So which dumping ground is to be converted into a park? All these decisions are taken by municipality. The complicated decisions that affect the entire city are taken by a group of councillors who form committees to decide and debate issues. So this is a forum where different councillors come together, decide, and then arrive at a mutually agreeable decision through consent. When the problems are within a ward, then the people who live in the ward can contract their councillors. So if you happen to live in a ward, I happen to live in a ward, I can approach my councillor and ask him or her that please do something to remove this problem. So if there are dangerous electrical wires, these petty issues, you will not go to Government of India for this. That my street lights are not working, my dumping ground near my house is stinking, electricity is not coming. All these things you need to go to your municipality, not even to your state government at times. So the ward councillors meet and they make a budget and the money is spent accordingly. Okay. Now big cities, as I told you, Bombay and Delhi have very big budgets regarding the municipalities. Not all, because in small cities the population is low. Population is small. So the problems are not so much in that area. Ward councillors try to ensure that the particular demand of their ward are placed before the entire council. So again, we have a quiz coming on today. So please listen to this video carefully. What is a councillor? What is a ward? And all those things. So this is what is discussed here. And there are more illustrations. So we know stories here. And just a very basic understanding of how the urban administration functions. There is not much I can see here. It helps us to keep our surrounding clean. It makes sure that our basic necessities are. So this was a very basic, because this is a class 6 book, so there is not much beyond this. However, in Indian Constitution, you have to study this in great details about the urban local bodies. In the same that we have discussed during this Panchayati Raj, Article 243. Now, after Article 243O to Article 243ZZ is all about urban. So we'll do that later. Now let us see the next chapter that we are left with, the urban livelihoods. We have already seen the rural livelihoods. So let us see this, what is given here, and how we are supposed to study the important things here. So this talks about like seeing that in agriculture. Now here you see a rickshaw puller. I'm sure city as well. So his story is given here. The details of the story. Just see this, that I'll highlight them as well. In a city, large number of So they are mainly largely, derived from unorganized sector. What is unorganized sector? Whether where they work, they are not sure how much work they will get. They live hand to mouth daily. Organized sector, we are sure of how much of this by the end of this month. Okay, they work on their own. They are not employed by anyone and therefore have to organize their own work. They have to plan as well as where and now how to set up their shops. Like this small, these this roadside small petty shops where they sell stuffs like tea, biscuits, snacks, street food. So it's not like a proper 5 or 10 to 6 job, and they have to do things on their own. Vendors, street vendors, as we call it. So vendors sell things that are often prepared at home by their families who purchase, like an ice cream stall. No, ice cream does not mean ice cream stall does not mean a big shop. A roadside ice cream stall where you can go and he will hand you an ice cream. So he makes things at his own home along with his family members. So there are almost one core street vendor in the country working in urban areas, and here we see that government is thinking about modifying the law that bans street vendors. However, this law was not passed, so that they have a place to work and that there is also a free flow of traffic and people, because there are too many and government does not know. Currently, we have not figured out. Unorganized sector is largely driving the economy. So we'll talk about these things later, and they have given example of and business with this, and they buy their raw materials. So there are factory workshops, other things. They also provide raw factories. We will see the next one. You see this. This is a sewing machine. So in an export garment unit, the factory where she summer clothes for people in foreign countries, Netherlands. Workers like Nirmal the months from December to April. So she has a very hectic schedule. She works on very hard. Paid 280 rupees a day for 8 hours and 100 extra for working late. See, not even 500 rupees working every day. So this is very less. By June, the factory reduces staff. So she has no job security. Work will be less and she might lose her job. They are employed on what is known. That is what happens in urban employment. That is, they are required to when the employer needs them. They are employed when the employer gets large order or during certain season, and other time they are doing some other job. So these are not permanent jobs. There is no security. You cannot plan your future. So this is what happens mostly in urban areas, because there is so much population coming here. There is no regular salary also. So what happens is, compare this with organized. Just let me sum it up. What is there in your book? In urban areas, we see, like in contrary to the rural areas, where mostly people were working in something related to agriculture and allied activities, as we have called it in our previous classes. Here, people are divided into, one is the we can segregate them. Uh, Organized sector, the other one is unorganized sector. Organized sector is where your work schedule is fixed. You know how much you will earn at the end of the month, and you are sure about it. You have a fixed schedule, you follow it, and you get the returns. Compared to it, in unorganized sector, you don't know. Like a roadside street food vendor, he has to go, he has to find a place. Normally, he finds a place, but maybe because of construction purpose, he has to switch his location. Okay, a small street vendor selling tea and biscuit and some snacks by the side of a road. So, and when he also makes things at his own place. So you'll see the family members are employed here. Whatever he earns, he distributes amongst his family. So he does not hire someone from outside. Usually there is one, maybe a small kid who belongs to his family, a grown up, maybe 18 plus kid. So another one is these in the unorganized sector, people tend to work in some factory where they earn a livelihood. Now, most of these factories work on demand supply basis. If the demand for a particular good is great in the market, they will take people, they will hire people, they will pay them. When the demand goes down, they will lay them off. So these are the problems of urban livelihood, and because of large scale migration, more and more people are coming from villages to urban areas, and we have still not been able to find a suitable source of livelihood for them. That is why it is said that we need to check migration, we need to go for reverse migration, we need to keep people into our villages. And as one of the socialist thinker Ram Manohar Lohia said, the less people are engaged into agriculture, the more beneficial it is for the rural economy, because already agriculture sector is employing more than needed. So they must involve themselves in something other than agriculture, something related to animal husbandry, bee, that horticulture, cash crop. The migration will also be checked. So this is what this two chapters talk about. Now you have a quiz lined up, so please revise these things. I'll be forwarding the questions at 8 p.m. in the Telegram group. And now in the next class, we will move with the next NCRT, the class 7th NCRT of quality. Happy learning to all of you.